Welcome back. We now take you to Kadalur in Tamil Nadu at what is being called Asia's largest all-women run nursery. It is part of Isha Foundation's Cauvery Calling project, an effort that links ecology with livelihood. Here, nearly 200 rural women oversee every detail like growing saplings, even managing finances. The nursery produces 85 lakh saplings annually, most of which is now being dispatched to farmers. As we speak, across the Cauvery basin, homemakers have literally become tree makers here, and they're driving one of India's biggest soil regeneration campaigns. Okay, for more, let's hear from Anand Ethirajalu. He's the project director of Cauvery Calling and Save Soil, who joins us from the nursery itself. Good morning, Anand. Hi, hope you're doing well. Okay, you're offering us such a scenic view this morning. Is this the Cauvery Calling nursery in Kadalur? Also the world's or Asia's largest single-site nursery?
Yeah, right now we are at the Kadalur Nursery in Tamil Nadu, which has the annual capacity to produce 8.5 million trees every year by involving more than 200 rural women from the local villages.
Okay, let's go back now to the initial days of the project, of the vision. This nursery that we're talking about, where you're seated right now, is part of the project Sadhguru had launched. So take us all the way back to the initial days. What were they like?
Around 96, 97, a group of UN scientists came to Tamil Nadu and they predicted that more than 60% of Tamil Nadu will be desertified in the next 25 to 30 years' time. Sadhguru, instead of believing the predicament, he took it upon himself to travel the state and found that it might happen much sooner if we don't take corrective action immediately. He started the community-based tree planting movement called Project Green Hands in 2004, which actually grew up into Rally for Rivers and Cauvery Calling, which is one of the world's largest tree-based agriculture initiatives. And today, over 250,000 farmers has enabled more than 138 million trees in the state of Tamil Nadu through community participation. So the whole story started when we saw that the soil is depleting at an alarming rate. It's not just what Sadhguru is believing, it's FAO's prediction that by 2050, 90% of our agriculture soils will be depleted. And in a scientific survey which was done in India, it shows that the soil organic carbon is depleting at an alarming rate. And another threat is that less than 2% of the farmers' children want to enter into agriculture. With climate change posing a threat on one side and the demographics in agriculture drastically changing in such a way, the average age of a farmer in India has crossed 50, which means that in probably a decade or two, the real food security of the nation is at a huge risk, and it's a very big question mark. And to tackle this is when Sadhguru came up with this idea of tree-based agriculture and regenerative farming, working hand in hand, where we can conserve the soil, optimize water efficiency, and build wealth and assets through trees for farmers. So basically, this is not just converting agriculture lands into trees. Basically, the idea is to add more trees into existing agriculture, where farmers can grow 25 different food crops along with trees as intercrops, which will give an additional income to them.
Okay, lovely. Anand, sir, since we're talking lakhs and lakhs of saplings this morning, tell us, in your view, understanding of the experience you've had so far in the project, is tree-based farming the next big thing? And what are Cuddalore farmers saying after trying it? Also tell us a little bit about the wonderful 200 rural women who are running this nursery, how that's contributed to local empowerment, to economic development. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, two things. One is that this tree-based agriculture is not something new, or it's not the new age phenomena. It is basically bringing back what our forefathers did. Our forefathers always had 20 to 30% of their land with tree crops. They ensured that 1/3 of their food comes from trees in the form of fruits or nuts or something like that. We lost the track during the Green Revolution period when we shifted to monocrop agriculture. All that Cauvery calling and safe soil movement is trying to do is bring the indigenous wisdom back and contextualize it with technology to address the climate change and the rate of disasters that are happening on agriculture soils now. With respect to the nursery, this nursery is very special because we started this just 3.5 years back, and we didn't have any trained resource on the nursery. Instead of bringing people from outside who are trained, we decided that we will empower the local women in these areas and help them to build this nursery over a period of time. Within a span of 1 year, these rural women are so enterprising that they picked up all the skill sets required to develop this nursery. Today, it is producing 8.5 million trees using the technology that is required to do this. 200 women may or may not have any basic education also, but they have stood up as leaders. We have selected 7 teams out of the 200 people, and the 7 teams are led by 7 leaders who are again from the same villages. And today, more than 54 different species of trees are being grown in one single site.
Wow, lovely. Anand, there's so much more that this initiative is doing. It's going beyond what we're seeing in these lovely visuals. So tell us about that. How is Cauvery calling ensuring that tree planting is also aligned with local biodiversity and ecological sustainability in the region?
So actually, we have 11 ecological zones in Tamil Nadu, and we made a scientific study at the beginning of Project Greenance in 2004-2005 with one of the leading scientists in Tamil Nadu, along with Agriculture University. We listed down all the native and endemic species that farmers have been using traditionally over a period of 100-200 years. And we documented it. We saw what are all the species that are planted and grown in those ecological regions. And the nursery here in Cuddalore is able to produce species as per the requirement of the geography. We don't have a standard template or a prescriptive list of species that we thrust upon the community. In fact, what we do is we study the local requirements, we study the local soil and ecological conditions, and give a list of options to the farmers. Like how we get combo options in restaurants, we give this combo options to farmers depending upon their financial situation, their water quality and soil quality. They get to choose what they want to plant, and because they choose it, they grow it, and the survival rate has been more than 85% because of the active participation of the farmers.
Okay, and very quickly, can you share some of the success stories over the last 3-4 years from farmers in Cuddalore who have seen income increase? Because you're talking about an income increase of 300 to 800% after switching to tree-based agriculture.
One of the most interesting stories is when we started the program, we were finding it very difficult to convince farmers to plant trees for their livelihood, because a tree might take anywhere between 10 to 15 years to start yielding any real income to the farmer. So we found a farmer, a very innovative farmer, who was growing 15 different species of trees in his farmland. And within the trees, he was growing a lot of vegetables, flowers, and so on, which fulfilled his daily income. And the trees were just built like assets. His own son was despising his father to waste all these resources in planting trees, and he was never part of his narrative. When the son's wedding came, the son wanted around 15 lakh rupees for his wedding. And the father, being a proud farmer, decided not to take 1 rupee loan from outside. He just harvested 10% of his trees in the farmland. He met out the wedding expenses, and his son became the campaigner after his father's demise 10 years back. So the story, what we saw is that this farmer became the model farmer who inspired more than 1,000 farmers in the same district to take up tree-based agriculture. We followed the same model, built an economic plan around this kind of a model, and we promoted across Tamil Nadu. And we have more than 2,000 case studies and testimonials where farmers have successfully grown these kind of trees and profited through timber cultivation. Just to add a note of what is the requirement of such trees in India. India is one of the world's largest importer of high quality hardwood timber, and it is in the tune of 75,000 crores per year. And there is a possibility that our farmers can get this money. We can have huge savings in forest reserves by not buying it or importing it from other countries. And by doing so, we are also enhancing our soil and saving our farmers and de-risking our farmers' livelihoods.
Wow, lovely. The sound of it is so motivating, Anand. Thank you for sharing that brilliant story. I do want you to come in a little bit now on the annual sapling production capacity. You spoke about it briefly. Tell us more, and how is it maintained, the challenges that you all encounter on a daily basis?
Basically, for example, I'm sitting in this nursery which is around 30 acres, and more than 54 species of trees are being grown here, and around 8.5 million trees are being grown. Beyond this, we also have one more nursery in Tiruvannamalai which is producing around 1.5 million trees. And apart from this, we have trained more than 25 farmers who are trained to grow saplings in their own farms. So for the expansion of this program to reach its target of 2.4 billion, we have already started enhancing farmers who will be helpful to scale this program. These farmers grow these saplings and we have a buyback agreement from them so that this sapling production also becomes a livelihood activity for them. So in a year, totally we are producing close to 15 million trees across all nurseries, including farmer-run nurseries and our own nurseries. And from the 15 million trees produced, around 12 million trees are distributed to farmers at a subsidized cost of just rupees 5. Whether it's a sandalwood tree which sells for rupees 40 or 50 in the market, or a neem tree which is sold at 5 or 10 rupees in the market, our standard price across all species is rupees 5. This is made so because there is a commitment to the farmer to ensure that they don't waste the saplings. At the same time, the price is in such a way that it is affordable and accessible to farmers.
Okay, lovely, Anand. As we're inching towards the end of this conversation, I can't help but talk about the visuals that we're playing out for our viewers of how these lovely women out there are working in the nursery. Tell us a little bit about their story. From homemakers to literally tree growers. Tell us about the woman's story here, how they've become the backbone of the green economy in the region. Any special story of success, elevation that comes to your mind as I ask you this?
It's a very emotional story for me because these women did not have a livelihood throughout the year. They go for agriculture activity as labor for 3 months or 4 months in a year. Rest of the year, they were struggling to get job and support their family on a consistent basis. And they didn't have any training in nursery. They picked up the training in such wonderful ways. We brought in the Japanese 5S system of organizing the nursery in a clean and efficient manner. A lot of women came back to us saying that they started implementing the same 5S Japanese system of organizing into their own homes. For example, one lady came to me and said that my eldest daughter takes care of certain vegetable cutting in the home. My youngest one takes care of cleaning the house. The 5S Japanese system they started implementing in their own households. And there is a beautiful story where a few of these women started coming and telling us that their children now take up different aspects of organizing their home in a much better way. And their home has never looked so clean and organized ever before. Not only that, we taught them basic yoga programs for them so that they're mentally and physically they're agile and fit enough while they're doing this kind of labor-intensive activity on the ground. They started doing yoga on a daily basis. We have a small place here where they can come and practice yoga when they have time. So all these things as a community has built this into a family. Every celebration, all the women come together, they cook together and they eat together. And they're very proud that they're part of this program which is saving this planet.
And like we've been discussing, they're not just growing trees, they're also managing finances. So this 200 member strong squad literally taking charge of the entire nursery. Thank you so much, Anand, for being with us here this morning.